What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And as you can see, we're in the garage, but this is not my TRX. This is my good buddy Eric's TRX, and we're gonna do a cold air intake, a JMB, the 5-inch big dual intake, and we're gonna put it on and see how it sounds. And he's actually been doing something pretty cool. He's been kind of data logging his intake temperatures over the last, multiple days or weeks, if you will, just to kind of see, is it going to be any cooler? Is it going to be similar? Is it going to be hotter? But the big thing is hearing that supercharger whine. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be throwing it on. I think I'm just going to throw you guys up on the hood for a time lapse. We'll get this thing on, go out and drive it. It is unfortunately nighttime, so it's going to be dark, but we're all just interested in the supercharger noise anyway. So we're gonna get this thing on and see what we can do. See if the instructions are straightforward enough for us. So we'll get up there. Real quick now, before we jump into that time lapse, I thought I would show you guys all of the parts and pieces included with this. You've got the big, massive 5-inch intake with the dual air filters on this end. You've got a pretty cool heat shield here for the factory RAM 1500 air box where these filters kind of live. So it's really nice, powder coated, nice weather seal here on the edges of it. And then we do have really nice S&B air filters. And if you know intakes or diesel performance and stuff, S&B is a really, really good, reputable name in the business. So not too much to the kit. We've got a coupler here, we've got a bracket, we've got some hose clamps and some standoffs for some of the brackets. So, like I said, we'll get under the hood and get all of this on. So guys, as you saw, we got all of the factory airbox air intake stuff off, and there's a couple of things you've got to swap over. This intake air temp sensor that goes into the factory intake tube, and there's this really small little tab that you're going to need to pry up so you can turn it to the left and then remove that. The other piece is this air intake solenoid that is connected to the factory intake tube, and it is connected solidly with a piece of nylon hardline, and it is heat shrinked at both ends from the factory, so there's no nice way to get it apart, unfortunately. Easiest way I found was just to grab a little single-sided razor blade and take a really small little trim or cut on the length of that nylon tube, and that let us get the solenoid off without any damage to the solenoid. And if you ever did want to go back to stock for whatever reason, you'd be able to just heat shrink this section or put a small piece of rubber tubing. You could very easily repair that small trimmed cut line on that and have it perfectly back to stock. All right, guys, so we used just a teeny little bit of silicone spray just to get a little bit more lubrication so that sensor would slide in, and then we'll be ready to I think I'm gonna throw the solenoid back on the truck, and then we will kind of put our clamp and hose on just so we can not have to battle everything all at once. So we'll start getting this thing in the truck. All right, guys, we finally got it on. It really wasn't too bad. Probably the worst part was, which you can't even really see, but the rubber or silicone coupler that goes from this tube to the throttle body. Actually getting that coupler slid onto that intake tube it's a two-person job. We were both pulling and prying and finally got it on there. Slid on hopefully far enough. We've got the hose clamped tight. Up here we've got our small hose that runs from the solenoid over to that intake tube that we did have to shorten up quite a few inches to get it to kind of flow nicely and not be kinked. But other than that, everything else fit decently well. The heat shield for the air filter area fit well, it fit nicely around the lines. The filters fit on good. Everything seems really, really nice. And look, for once, you can tell it's a Hellcat powered vehicle because there's a supercharger there, because normally you guys know you can't see anything. It's just a bunch of plastic, the big, huge air box. It's not very cool to look at, but now it looks like a Hellcat. So I think we're gonna at least go out and get an initial drive around the neighborhood, listen to the intake noise, and maybe tomorrow he's gonna swing back by. We'll get some daytime impressions of it, but we at least gotta go out and hear it now. I almost feel like I can hear it already.
I can too.
And guys, I don't know if you guys can hear this on the video, but even just at idle, it's got a different tone just to that supercharger whine just sitting there. Yeah, even light throttle, it just is a lot more whiny. Didn't do that before.
No, it did not.
Louder than the Trackhawk, quieter than the Trackhawk?
I would say it's about, I think it's louder because it's in metal, it just resonates everything.
Right.
That's awesome.
God. I haven't ridden in a TRX for a little while since mine's been hurt. That moves.
You need one.
God, it spun hard.
It did.
Wow.
Did it unlock some horsepowers? I would think so.
I mean, it's super cold out, guys. It is 27 degrees out, but it is very much making use of that power, or that cold air. Ooh. Well, guys, we just took the thing out and it sounded amazing. It felt really strong. The air is cold outside, so of course it's gonna feel great. But it was a really good install. Everything seemed to fit good, and it makes supercharger noises now like it should have from the factory, and that's what we're going for. So it'll be interesting to have him kind of watch air intake temperatures over the next few days and see, is it more, is it less, is it very similar? So guys, thanks for watching along on the intake install, and guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.